Nan Klinger created the Cuyahoga Valley Youth Ballet 35 years ago. In fact, she created the first youth ballet in the state of Ohio. And currently, the Cuyahoga Valley Youth Ballet is the fourth oldest youth ballet in the United States.
She said to me, "Mrs. Albrecht, you should come to Akron U Auditorium, where I am having a class with a teacher from Germany by the name of Heinz Pohl."
This wild and crazy woman came up to us, all excited, and she started talking about this new idea she had for a youth ballet. And she thought I would like to know about this and that I would like to write about it. And I said I had no interest in writing about that. It was not, I didn't even think it was a good idea. Well, of course it was Nan Klinger, and she wouldn't give up. And even though I told her I wasn't interested, she just sort of laughed that off.
Nan was a dreamer. A lot of us are dreamers, but she made her dreams come true.
I get a phone call fairly late at night. "Hi, I'm Nan Klinger." "Yes, I saw your work in Jackson and I want you to do a ballet for us. When can you come in?" It was that blunt and that direct, and I fell in love with her instantly.
Nan really got me hooked when she began bringing in professional choreographers. And people would often ask me, why did I pay attention to the Cuyahoga Valley Youth Ballet when I didn't write about the other youth companies? And I said, because Nan was doing something that was original.
Nan knew exactly what she wanted. And she told me, "Frances, I want every kid in the front line at least once, and as little stars as possible, make them dance." And I hoped I fulfilled her dream. All the girls of all age and all the boys of all age danced. And it was thrilling.
There wouldn't be a summer in Saratoga that Nan Klinger wasn't present and around. When she first found out that I was interested in choreography, she was one of the first people to hire me to come here and make a piece for the children. And I felt very honored that she believed and trusted in me that much to give me this kind of an opportunity. Working with these kids, you feel their passion, energy, vitality, which is so rare today. And Mia continues to carry on this tradition and raise it above the bar as always.
I told her I wanted to do Madeline. Before I even had a chance to get it out of my mouth, she had already gone to the bookstore and got all the Madeline books. I didn't look at the books, like I didn't have time. So she kept saying to me, "Mia, you've got to, do that one about Madeline at the circus." So I thought, okay, now I better open the books. And then when I read Madeline at the Gypsy, then I realized she meant Madeline at the circus.
What was so special about the youth ballet and the teaching of Nan is that it was life lessons. It wasn't just who had the most perfect tendu. She didn't allow you just to be a good dancer. She really insisted that you be a good person, and that those lessons that you learned in the classroom about integrity and honesty carried over into your life.
I wanted her to be proud of me. She was a fascinating woman and also a terrifying woman.
She was very intimidating, even for an adult like me.
When I came back to the studio as a teacher, Mia had told me that I needed to teach with Nan for a few weeks before I could take over her classes. And to say the least, I was intimidated by that prospect.
Miss Nan was a person who, in many ways, was a larger-than-life person. I think for both of our children, Suzanne and Jackson, Miss Nan remains a leading figure in their lives. The training that she gave them, the standards that she set for them, are benchmarks that they still refer to.
For them to come home after a ballet class and have had a compliment from Miss Nan was so meaningful to them.
Beauty must suffer.
You didn't want to look like a truck driver. You didn't want to stomp your feet around and walk, and otherwise you'll look like a truck driver. I remember Miss Nan saying that. Even though you pushed us hard and made us cry sometimes, we all still think about you frequently. The real thing that has stuck with me all these years is is discipline.
I'm actually the last dancer in the company that was able to work with Miss Nan, and it was just such an honor to be able to know her and her great work ethic that she instilled in me.
She was the very first ballet teacher for my daughter, Brianna. It's because of Miss Nan, her teaching, the studio that she started, her dreams and her visions that enabled another young girl to have the opportunity to fulfill her dreams of becoming a ballerina.
You were the one that got me into ballet and kept me here, and Francis Petrelli. You and Francis Petrelli got me hooked.
It changed his life. He was into his 7th year as a professional dancer because of Nan, and that was something I don't know that I would have thought that my son would have done, so I'm very appreciative of that, and I know it has just been a huge part of his life and who he is today.
Her passion was ballet. She lived it, and she helped others to search out their passion in life too.
She was totally dedicated to dancing.
She always seemed to have more energy than anyone I knew. She was always very positive. I remember her coming to me and saying, "Cappy, you can dye these things. You can learn how to dye fabrics. Oh yeah, you can do this." And I'm going, "I can?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I thought, okay, if Nan thinks I can do it, I must be able to do it.
I own a ballet studio in Cary, North Carolina. I have about 220 students, and it's a great joy of mine to be able to teach them. And I just have this real hope and dream that I'm able to pass on to them some of the wisdom that I learned from Miss Nan.
She was tough and made the girls work, but all in all, she had a very good heart and was very helpful. Anytime I needed help or when someone really needed help, she was there to give you a hand. We've had a lot of laughs over the years, and I just wanted to say it was a great pleasure to work with her.
She kept talking about this music she had to pick up, and so I'm following her around, and we end up at Lincoln Center, and we end up going into the stage door, and Nan keeps telling everyone, "I'm here to pick up the album, I'm here to get the music," and I'm following her around like a lost puppy, and the next thing you know, we're standing in the wings of a New York City ballet performance.
She paid money to give us a beautiful, beautiful backdrop of the palace. She wanted to see that backdrop up there the entire ballet. And I said, "Nan, but the ballet doesn't take place in the palace, the whole ballet." "I paid for that backdrop. I want to see that backdrop the entire ballet." Well, thank God I had also learned with Nan that you had to pick and choose your battles. And I had changed steps and had done other things that she had wanted. So that battle I actually won.
I went into class with her and we taught side by side. She stopped and she said, "Oh, by the way, you're going to do road." And I thought to myself, well, what is road? Am I supposed to go out on the road? Am I going to hit the road? What am I going to do here? And what is road? And it turns out that road is the Reach Out and Dance program, the outreach program of the Cuyahoga Valley Youth Ballet that today I run. I always am thankful to Nan for that and the gift that she has given me in entrusting me with the road program.
She wasn't the best driver, we all know. Aunt Nan used to drive me home from the studio every night after ballet class. She took that 2 or 3 minute car drive every night to critique my ballet class, and she was so into what she was saying, and she was only thinking about ballet that so many times she would drive right past my house. She just absolutely loved ballet, and I've never met anybody that loved something so much that really she couldn't even concentrate on simple tasks, like driving me home and finding my house. Rights to ballets are hard to get, especially a big book like Madeline. So my mother had passed away on a Wednesday, and we were standing in the kitchen on a Friday, and Dave Sarver came over, who was my board president at the time, and he said, "Everyone, let's get a glass of champagne." So we got some champagne, and he opened up the letter, and we had gotten the rights to Madeline. And I always felt like that was my mother, you know, giving us the rights. She had very, very important person on her side to get the rights to that ballet for us.
My mother called me when I was a sophomore and let me know that Miss Nan, our beloved Miss Nan, had passed away. I told my mother right away she has to come get me. And my mother logically told me, Katie, you must stay at school because you have your rehearsals and you have to prepare for your upcoming performance. Miss Nan would want nothing more than for me to be in the studio dancing where I belonged. I performed for Miss Nan. That was my own personal celebration of her life, and it's a performance that I will never forget.
I'm thrilled to talk about one of those strong, brilliant founders of the regional ballet movement and companies in America, bringing good classical ballet outside of the major cities. A company I believe in, company I keep on coming back to work with, and that tradition began with Nan. We all miss her, and we send her our love, and I'm thrilled that this tradition and this company is still going 35 years later.
One of the most wonderful things about Nan was how she instilled her love for ballet and so many other people, and how she touched their lives by her excitement and her enthusiasm and her love for ballet. And she has touched so many dancers and so many children in this community, and has brought dance to so many people who have never experienced it before.
Well, Nan was a professional colleague. She also became a friend, and she had a great influence on me and on my way of looking at dance and my way of thinking about dance. I really miss Nan a lot. She was a very special kind of friend.
I wept and still weep over that terrible loss of wonderful Nan. See, I have tears now.
It doesn't matter in life that you be great, but it's to know greatness. You know, it's to understand what it takes to have a foot that glows. That's the real key to life, is knowing greatness.
Mia talked to me about making a piece that would represent Nan and her energy and her vitality and her love of ballet. So the dance that I've made this year, Symphonic Nansence, is dedicated to Nan and all her wonderful vitality, energy, gifts, passion, love of teaching, love of ballet, and love of the art form. So this is my gift to you, Nan.